a professional website. Somebody's going to Google you. Have a Google My Business page. Everybody is going to Google. The first thing I do, and I want to learn about somebody, or if I want to go to a store, if I want to purchase something, where do we go? We go and Google it.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of Dads on Purpose, the podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ashford, and this show, it's all about helping dads become the best version of themselves. And if you're a dad with a business, like today, we bringing in the heavy guns, man. We got Miss Kissena Sheets, back office credit solution. But Kissena, make sure you let them know, like, you don't just do credit, right? Like, you do a lot of stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna get into that. But how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hot. That's what I am. We in Texas. It's supposed to be a light day, which is like 97. I got the AC on. I got my water. I'm hot. Other than that, I'm good. Right?
I told somebody earlier this week, I'm like, my mother, all my family's in, they're all spread out, but it's hot there. And I told them, I said, yeah, we had a cold front come through. She was like, really? I was like, yeah, it's like 87. Our high is going to be 93. She was like, what?
Right. Welcome to Texas. Golly.
Yes.
Kissena, how do you introduce yourself? Because I don't, you know what, I did that for you, but like, how do you introduce yourself?
I introduce myself simply by just saying my name, Kissena Sheets, and owner of Back Office Credit Solutions. I have deemed myself the business funding advisor. And that's what I do. I mean, I'm very, very simple. Don't need a lot of accolades, but I just try to provide value wherever I go and whoever I speak with. If you want my background, that's, I can run that down. And
I mean, you know what? I think it's going to come out like, listen, my listeners, my viewers, they trust me. I'm only bringing experts. I'm not bringing no run of the mill people. So if y'all want to know more, Google her. You know what I mean? Because we gotta get in this episode. We only got like 30, 45 minutes, y'all. We ain't trying to hold everybody hostage out here. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? This is like, I don't know what it is, but like, I just had Ross Powell on, Bowtie Bunny guy, accounting. And now we're talking about, but that was personal, like finances and things like that. And so now I'm excited to get into this like business, like credit and lending and things like that. Here's my first question, and we're just going to start it from here. I don't know where we're going to go, but what do people get wrong in like the fundability of their business?
Oh, that is a great question. And it's broad.
I know.
I will tell you, commingling funds is number one. When they commingle that personal and that business, and it's hard for a lender to tell what's actually business and what's actually personal. Yeah. Not having their business in compliance, it is not knowing where they are financially, What
do you mean? Because that's broad too.
It really, so on the personal side, what bills you have to pay. Yeah. Right. Most times, after those bills, what's left over, right? What's coming. And business it's the exact same thing. And so most times, as you take care of your personal responsibilities, there goes your business. It's a trail. It's going to be the same. It's not as though you're going to be like, oh, I got my personal is jacked up. I need to get this on track and think your business is going to be, top tip condition, you know what I mean? Because it's habit and understanding what's important. So what I found is knowing what those expenses are, paying your bills on time to help you build business credit, and staying true to that.
That's good.
Invest in your business.
What you mean invest in my business?
Is really, some of the key factors when it comes to fundability.
But you said invest in my business, but like, what does that mean? Like, is that investing in systems? Is that investing in knowledge? Is that like investing like in actual money or what? Because, we got a lot of like first time entrepreneurs out here, they out here trying to get the bag, they're trying to make some things happen. Or maybe, they were given a business and they don't quite understand why they can't get a loan for something. Cause like they always say the goal is to control everything and own nothing, but that's a whole different level of business and finances and control. I'm talking about the guy, we just getting started. You know what I mean?
You know, one of the things when I say invest is if you're going to be an expert in your craft, you know, you're going to have to invest in some training, right? We all go to YouTube University, but that can only take you so far, right? And so what I mean, and the other thing, one of the things that I did starting out is someone told me that, and I was taking all this training, I was spending all this money, and half the time I didn't need to spend that money. So that goes back to your business expenses, right? But investing is, you know, making sure you look professional to others, having a professional email address, you know, having a professional website.
Can you hear this cat?
Is that the little kiddos over there?
No, that's not the cat. The kid, that's the cat. Give me a second. Let me let this cat outside, man.
Okay, let's go jump on the desk. Oh, man. It gives me time to drink.
Well, now she don't want to go outside.
My water intake.
Look, I don't even know if I'm edit that out.
I want another cat. I had a Siamese chocolate point. Oh, she was beautiful.
I got a cat you can have. You know what I'm saying? You right up the street too. So let me go ahead and drop this cat off. I'm gonna throw her in the van, and then I'm gonna just do a rolling stop. So you just grab her. No? Okay.
No.
Anyways, going back to what we were talking about. So you know, investing. So you were investing, you were doing YouTube University, you were buying courses, you're doing all these things. You didn't need to do none of that. Why?
It was because I wasn't ready, you know, so you need to know the basics of your business and build. So I was taking this training that, you know, I was like, okay. And I was saying to myself, well, when I get there, I'll know how to do this. Right. But you don't know how to do it now. And so you're thinking these people you're in training with are far beyond you, and they're telling you need to take this, you need to take this. So make sure that you look at your plan and determine what it is you need right now to either generate some income, but don't go and try to do all of those classes. I mean, it was crazy. But the other thing about investing is, you know, be professional. You know, have a professional website. Somebody's going to Google you. Have a Google My Business page. Everybody is going to Google. The first thing I do, and I want to learn about somebody, or if I want to go to a store, if I want to purchase something, where do we go? We go and Google it, right? So you want to make sure that you have a presence there. And you don't have to post to it every day, but just to have it there. So you want that email address. It's $4 a month to have a professional email address, right? Everybody, and I'm not saying anything against Google and Hotmail and all of that. What I am saying is
Hotmail.
I know, right? My husband still has a Hotmail. He will not get rid of that email.
I got customers with AOL. My grandma has an AOL. I'm like, yo, it's time. It's time.
Yeah, I got 2 clients with AOL, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even know they were still. You know, the domain was still there, but that's what I mean. You know, take the small steps. Get a professional, have a professional voicemail. If you still have you reached a number of 97269. You know, you have clients calling you, and if you're using your personal line, the voicemail needs to be professional. You know?
Okay, so we got professional phone number, voicemail. We got website. We got professional email. This is talking about somebody that's just getting started. So we need a professional email. So those 3 things to look fundable or look professional, invest in your business to let, I guess, people know that you're taking it serious as well.
Right. So it's going to help you on both sides. So we were talking about fundability, right?
Yeah.
So with business credit, because most of that is focused on, and when I mean business credit, this is outside of your traditional banking, going to the bank, right? Because they're 2 different things. And
I'm gonna need you to break that down because I don't know what you're talking about. Like when I think business credit, I think about the bankers that I know that I network with, and they're like, "Hey, you need some equipment? You need a truck? Oh, okay, yeah, come here, yeah, let's get some business credit. Cool. Is that not what we're talking about?
That's business financing, which can sometimes
and you hear this cat still because I can't.
right? So business
Hold on.
credit allows.
I need to let this cat out because she.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Get out of my house. Golly. All right, she outside.
Oh, you let.
All right. Take 2, take 3, something like that. We back. I let the cat outside. She out of my hair. We good. Okay. So now we said we're talking about businesses and banks and the difference between business fundability, business credit, and business financing, right?
Right. So business financing is what everyone is used to, right? You go to the bank, you apply for a loan, they give you a loan or a line of credit, credit card, whatever that might be. Right. Yeah. They're going to always pull your credit, your personal credit. So you're going to have an inquiry. They're going to pull anything that they can find on you because you're most times going to PG it. You're going to guarantee that loan. Right.
Okay.
On the business credit, you are getting financing, we call it credit though, in the strength of the EIN, the entity itself, without having to disturb your personal credit report. You know, you're the owner of the business, but they're keeping it completely separate. So that information, those loans are not going to show up on your personal credit. And so business credit has been around forever. Walmart was built on business credit. The large corporations you see, they're all built on business credit. So in a sense, what's happening, and there's different phases to it. You have your startup where you're getting vendor and merchant accounts, which is store credit. And they allow.
What's an example of them?
Pardon?
What's an example of one of those?
You might have Office Depot. Okay. So Office Depot, and they'll allow you to purchase product on credit and they'll invoice you. And your invoice might be 20 days. It might be, most of them are net 30. So you pay me back in 30 days. And it works very well with startups because most of them, some have contracts, right? They get contracts, they win bids. They need to get this material. They could go get the material, complete the job, and now they pay the invoice back. All the while, that vendor, that merchant is reporting to Dun & Bradstreet or Experian credit bureaus or...
Wait, hold on. Who's Dun? Dun & Bradstreet.
So Dun & Bradstreet is one of the most widely recognized and oldest commercial credit bureaus. So we have personal, we have Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, right?
Yeah.
On the business side, you have Dun & Bradstreet, or you might have heard it called D&B, or you may have heard of a Dunn's number. So that's a unique identifier, so that when you make your payment to those vendors, they're going to report to the business credit bureaus that you've made your payment. That's increasing your business credit score.
That's how you get business credit.
Correct.
So you have a business credit score?
I do.
Bruh, no, not you. In general, like businesses.
Yeah. So when I was a lender,
bruh, hold on. I thought it was just personal credit.
No, you've got a business credit bureaus out there. Absolutely. And so with business credit, because they're not pulling your personal credit report, they're looking at other qualifiers. And those qualifiers are the things that I've mentioned to you earlier. Did you invest? Is this a hobby or did you actually invest in your business? So I'm going to Google you. I'm going to see if you have a website, see if you have a presence. Do you have a professional phone number? You know, oh, okay. Now I feel a little bit more comfortable giving you a line of credit with these terms. So absolutely.
So how do we know? So I'm guessing. So, you know what I'm saying? Like you go get a house loan or a car loan or something like that, or a credit card, you know, they're reporting, but like if I go to like a tote note car dealership, like they're not reporting to my personal credit. So like, how do I know somebody is reporting to my business credit?
Two ways. You can ask them. Do you report to the business credit bureau? Some of them will, say yes. Some will say no. Even if they say no, you can request that they do it. Businesses really don't know that if they report to the business credit bureau, they could probably increase their bottom line because everybody wants something reporting to the business credit bureau, right? The other way is to pull your business credit reports. You have the ability to go to, when you go to Experian.com, people always go to the personal. Go to the business side. And the business side will say, pull your business credit score. Now, there might be a small fee associated with pulling your business credit score. I think Equifax is free. Experian charges. DNB is pretty much free. And then there's a site that I send to my clients, and it's called Nav, and you can pull everything. And so it's almost like a tri-merge. You get your DNB, your Experian, and Equifax, and they charge a small fee. But I'll send you the link. You can get a discount.
Yeah, send me that.
And then, yeah, absolutely. And you can see where you are.
What's a good business credit score? Because, like, you know what I'm saying? They always talk about, on the personal side, oh, I got an 800. I got an 850. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Do we do 850s in business credit?
Business credit goes up to 100. So you have your Paydex score, that DNB. Or
what's it called?
Paydex. Paydex.
Okay.
And so it goes to 100. The maximum is 100. So if you have an 80 on your Experian, your Equifax commercial credit, or your DNB, it's like the equivalent of having a 740 on a personal credit report. You can pretty much, that's the minimum threshold. And so if you have something below that, that means you don't have enough trade lines reporting, or you have been late in making your payment, because business credit is all about how you make your payment and when you make your payment.
Now, when you say trade lines, is that like would you say merchant accounts?
Right. The trade line is just like on your personal credit, where you have loans and you see the accounts. It's another name for accounts, how many accounts you have reporting. On the business side, we just call it trade lines.
Got you. How many of those do I need? Well, can I just have one?
You can have one, but it really isn't going to help your score. The threshold, I would say a benchmark is to have at least 4 to 5 reporting on your Dun & Bradstreet.
Okay.
And, most people know about Quill. I mean, there's some starter ones that will get you on the board. I love Quill. They report the last, I think, Monday of the month, but I can go in and I can get anything. It's like I call it a mini Walmart. And then I pay them back in 30 days. And then, they report that I've paid them back on time. They have gift cards, so it allows me to send little thank you gift cards to my clients, and here, have a latte on me, or thank you so much. It's those things that you can do. I mean, it's amazing. And not only merchant gift cards, but they have Visa and MasterCard where you can go and purchase other things.
You said this is Quill. And so you buy all this on your business credit.
Right. So they
Quill?
invoice me. They invoice me and I pay back in 30 days.
How do you spell Quill?
QUILL.com.
Okay. So I go to Quill. I got my little business. You know what I'm saying? I got my little business. I go to Quill. I need some stuff for my business, or I'm a guess. Hey, if I got a home office and I need some cleaning supplies, or you know what I'm saying, for the office bathroom, I need some toilet paper. You know what I mean?
Paper towels.
So I can just go there. I can go there and sign up, and they'll give me a business line of credit.
Right. So qualifiers. If you're a sole proprietor, that's you. That means you cannot get business credit if you're only a sole proprietor, because at the end of the day, you're using your social. You might have an EIN with the IRS, but it still is just you. So you must be an LLC, S corporation, one of those. And nonprofits, I don't do the nonprofits on a business credit. I'm not even sure it can be done, because at that point it's a little different with nonprofits.
Okay. So I go there. I need qualifiers. I need to be an LLC. And then I set that up, and they're going to say approved for $10,000. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. So what they'll do is when you submit your information, now, one thing I will tell you is it is extremely important and this goes back to the business compliance. It's extremely important for everything to match up. So whatever you opened up with the Secretary of State, whatever you have with the franchise office, the IRS, the mailing addresses need to be the same. Now, your registered agent can be whatever that is, but whatever you have registered there needs to be the same. Because when you apply for business credit, they're going to do their due diligence. If you're one is saying one place, one is saying another place, they don't know where you are. And so it causes confusion. And they're just going to be like, instead of them trying to get all that information, they're going to deny, and they're going to keep on. So it is important for you to have that. It is important for you to make sure you have a business bank account, because really when you are starting business credit, your business started when you opened up that business credit account, that business checking account. That's in their eyes. That's because that's when you became really from a hobby to a legitimate business, because you're going to want to open up that business account, right? You're going to expect to have revenue. It needs to go into that account. Yeah.
So I look fundable. I get the website. I get the email address. I get the phone number. And then I go and get the business credit. Well, first I got to get the LLC so I can get some business credit and not in my personal name. So I need to get an LLC. Then I do the fundability, looking good on paper with website, email address, phone number, Google page. Yeah, you need a Google page. So I do that. Then I go and get some vendor merchant account.
Vendor accounts. And that's
I
what
need
I
4 of those.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay. So I do that. Then what's the next step for me to because I'm thinking how do I scale, right? Because my whole interest in all this is figuring out how do we use credit as a asset in our business, and so how do we build it up, right? So we do the vendor accounts, and then how do we get approved for the company car? You know what I mean? Is that next or
No, it's not next, but it's coming. Okay. So what happens is once you get your vendor, you've got your accounts reporting the D&B, then there's what's called a tier 2 or a layer 2. So in that one, what they're doing, you're applying, right? Mm-hmm. But that layer 2 has requirements. You need to have at least 4 trade lines, or they may say you need to have 5 trade lines reporting to Dun & Bradstreet before we will approve you. So that's why
a tier 2 or a level 2? What's that?
It's just the next step, but it has.
But I mean, what? So is that more prestigious vendor accounts, or?
It is. It's a higher level account. So at this point, you're getting, it might be gas cards. If you try to build your business credit and go apply for a gas card with Shell or Chevron or wherever, then chances are you're going to get denied because you haven't built up. So it's a building, and they do require a prerequisite of a certain amount of trade lines on. They may say, I need you to have 3 on D&B and I need you to have 1 on Experian before we'll approve you. I need you to be in business for 6 months, have 3 trade lines, have 1 on Equifax. So there are qualifiers as you build. And the longer that you're in business, the more opportunity that you get to purchase from these places. And you don't have to continuously purchase. You can purchase 1 time or 2 times before a trade line will show up, and then you go to the next. Right. So you go from those cards and you go to a higher level of retail cards, and that might be Lowe's or Home Depot, depending on your industry. So what I try to do is I try to match up your industry. So if you're a contractor, Lowe's and Northern Supply, those are important to you. And so that's where our communication comes in, because you might say, oh, I've already got an account with this guy and they give me lumber. Well, we need to make sure that vendor is reporting. And if they're not, let's make a call to see if they can go ahead and report, right? And then as you build, you get the lines of credit, the MasterCard, the Visa card, then comes the car. And Ford is great for giving business credit on cars. Turo is good with that. And then real estate. You want to get that real estate in your business credit so you don't have to always PG it. Now there, you've got to show, but to get the credit, you also need to show revenue. Right? Yeah. It's just about making those purchases. But when you're trying to get a $500,000 line of credit or a building, you've got to have some revenue to reflect that. It shows them that you can you can pay that. But it's a build that you're continuously building your business credit.
How long does this take? So we worked our way up. I'm gonna try to backtrack this. I ain't my ADHD. So we had the vendor and the merchant accounts. Then we had the level 2. Is it level 2?
Level 2 or layer 2, depending on
level 2, layer 2. Those were the gas cards, like something like that. So we got to have 4 to 5 merchant accounts. Then we go to the gas cards, and then after we get the gas cards, then we get the car. Or was it something else?
Look, you're trying to get that car. No. So then it comes to your regular Visa and MasterCard.
Oh. Would that not be a gas card?
No, those are, I mean, technically yes, but it's a retail card, meaning you could only use it at that place. Right?
Got you. Okay.
That vendor or merchant. But, it's a build, and each one requires something different. I woke up a couple of days ago, and I don't use PayPal very often, but they said I woke up, logged in, based upon your business credit, we've approved you for X number of dollars. I didn't apply. But what they do, your business credit is open. It's not as though you need a permissible purpose like you do on the personal. So you can go and look up my business credit report. I can go and look up yours, right? And so they can go in and look to see what you have, what's going on. So it's important to also make sure that your business credit is accurate. If you're one who who has an address and you're at a co-working space where everybody's using that address, if somebody has a similar name that you do, there could be a mix-up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So many layers.
No, there really is layers. Cause we get the layer 2, and then we get the regular Visa cards. And then you said after that, I think then we go for the vehicles. And then you said with the real estate. And I'm just like, how long does this take? So like, if I'm just starting a business, right? If I'm, I don't know what I'm starting. If I'm starting something, and I know the goal is for me eventually to I got a client, he owns a bagel shop, and he just bought a car, but he bought it cash because he was making bagels and he's delivering them to like a satellite location. And so the next phase for him is to buy a property so that he can actually like not lease out and like take his manufacturing vertical, right? And so I'm like, okay, from the time he started this business, granted, it's going to depend, it's going to vary with everybody, to the time where he can get that fundability to buy the real estate. I'm like, how long should this take?
So your business credit, it depends on that person, right? And it depends on the revenue. So, but business credit can take 6 months to build out. It's how aggressive you are, number one, coupled with your revenue. The program we have is really 6 months, but I do allow them because business owners get busy, right? And so, oh my gosh, I forgot to do that. Oh, I forgot to do that. So we extend it out. As long as I see you trying, no problem. But it does not take long at all. It's just a process, and you have to stay true to the process. You'll never stop building business credit. It's a continuous. As long as you're in business, you'll want to continue to build, right?
Yeah.
And once you get to a certain level, even the traditional bank will allow you to start getting funding under your business credit and not having you PG it. Doesn't happen very often. So if you're looking at a business, I would advise everyone to find a commercial type of bank. Commercial bank, one that really primarily targets businesses.
Okay.
Right.
So that I'm gonna assume that's not your Chase, your Bank of America, your Wells Fargo. So who is like a commercial bank?
You have to go and Google.
You ain't got to give me no names. I know, like, can't you do like when they do like a referrals, like a realtor's like, oh, here's 3 business cards of people that I recommend. Like,
well, the reason I say that is because, okay, so you have American, I think it's American National. You've got Bank of the West is a commercial bank.
Really?
So those banks, and for me, I'm nationwide, so I have to go in and research who's in California, right?
Yeah.
What commercial bank is in California?
Yeah.
And so they cater to business owners, whereas the Chase, the Bank of America, although they have a business portal, a large business silo, most of their clients are consumers, right? So that's not their focus. And the other good thing about commercial banks is they're upstairs decisioning your loan. They have what's called committee meetings, right? Could be every Tuesday, every week. You bring your loan, you talk it out, and it's like the pros and the cons, and then that's where the decisions are made. On typically it's in-house decision making.
That's crazy. Right? Like I'm taken back by like how much like the average person doesn't know, because we don't talk about this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was mentioning on the podcast with Ross like last week about like we're all getting to the bag, generational wealth, and woo 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 and all these other things, but like nobody's telling us about business credit. Like it's not talked about in a lot of circles, right? Yeah. Because people don't even understand like how to get that. I'm just like, like, oh, okay, so I need to be fundability. That's not a right word, but
fundable. But it is all about fundability. It is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, Josh, I will tell you, business credit, really, when you look at it, is a competition for the bank funding, right? People want to get it in the business name and not necessarily, but the banks, because they're on every corner, that's all you know. That's all people teach you. I didn't know a lot about business credit until I went independent years ago. I'm like, what? What do you mean? And so I just started digging in and learning as much as I could about business credit, and realized that people really need to know this. Yeah.
I'm just like now, because now I got more questions, but we're coming up. I know what's happening. And again, this happened last week with Ross, because like Ross, we went down a rabbit hole, and I was like, I got questions, but we got to end this show because we about to double it. So that's what I'm gonna do on this show. We're gonna have to run this back, and I'll tell you my questions afterwards. But what would you like to leave people with? Like, what is something as a business owner, like what would you like to leave them with in regards to whether that's business credit, funding, or whatever?
I don't want to negate the fact that personal credit is still important. Just because business credit is there, if your personal credit is intact, you have the ability to have double purchasing power. Business credit and traditional, which allows you to get, it just doubles, the extension of credit. I would say the first thing I would tell, especially the new business owners, is make sure your business is in compliance. If you're still using this is huge for me. If you're still using a Yahoo or a Gmail for your business, get a professional $4 email address. And, Microsoft has it. And then if you get one with Microsoft, I think it's $5 a month, but you get all this other stuff that comes along with it, right. And not highlighting, any particular professional email, but they all, everyone has a professional address availability. So Google, shop around, see which is good for you. But that's what I would encourage people to do first. Get your business in compliance. Be legitimate. Go back and look. Make sure your addresses are correct across the board. With the credit bureaus, make sure they have your correct business address. Secretary of State, the IRS, just make sure. And then you can start. But if you do that, you're going to have multiple profiles. And each profile is going to have a different trade line. And then you're going to get declined because you need to pull them together so you can show you have multiple trade lines. And that happens so often with clients who have come to me, found out they had multiple profiles because the reporting is different. So that would be my takeaway. If I could one small takeaway, because I feel like that's the one people miss out on and overstep because they're anxious to go and move forward. So you got to build your foundation.
When you say multiple like accounts, when I think about it, I'm thinking about like when they pull my personal credit and they're like, oh, is this an alias of you? Like we need to connect them, because sometimes I use Josh, sometimes I use Joshua, sometimes I use my middle name, sometimes I don't. Like, and so they're like, now they got to connect them. And I could see how that can be confusing. Yeah. And then you might get denied unless all of it links up. Yo, where can they find you at? Where can they talk to you?
So our website is backofficecreditsolutions.com.
Okay.
You can reach me at Kissena at Backoffice CS, and that's BACKOFF.
I need you to spell. You need to spell your first name too, because everybody knows how to spell Kissena.
It's KISSENA at Backoffice CS. BACKOFFICECS.com.
Boom. Yes, I'm gonna put it in the show notes. So I'm gonna put it in the show notes, so it doesn't matter. I just wanted you to spell it.
Yes, or our number, you can reach us at 1-800-656-0084.
There you guys have it, man. If you need some business credit, if you need some lending, if you just need to ask some questions, y'all know where to find her, man. Make sure you like the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, share this with at least 5 business owners. Like, I don't even care if they just started or they've been in for a long time. Share this episode with 5 business owners. Until next week, take care. God bless. We love you. We out.
Thank you so much.